Hey friends, it's Nicole with Guiding Echoes. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we are talking about December 21st, 2020. What the heck is going on? Why are astrologers going nuts over this date? And what can we expect as this day approaches? Now, you might have thought that I was a good little student and did my homework on this, but I did not. The reason for that is because I wanted to go ahead and use my cards to ask what was going to happen. In addition to that, I also wanted to take your guys' questions, or your gals' questions, I guess we could say, for all the women out there. Take your questions regarding what December 21st is going to entail for us all. So if you have been listening to different astrologers here on YouTube, or tarot readers, or intuitives, and they've been saying some interesting things about this date that is around the corner, and you have questions about it, hit me up with those questions. We are going to tune into the energy of that date. We're going to ask our guides and angels in the universe what's happening, what we need to look forward to. And I have picked out 3 different decks for this. The first one is Dreaming Way Lenormand. The second one is Work Your Light Oracle cards, which I find to be great whenever you're asking for spiritual information or guidance. This is a great deck to turn to. And then we also have Wizard's Tarot, which is one of my newer obsessions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the cards, and I'm just asking the Lenormand cards what is going to happen on December 21st, 2020. So as I'm shuffling, I'm curious to know, what are some of the things that you guys have heard regarding this date? One of the things that I have heard is that this is supposed to be a date that marks a great awakening in humanity, a great spiritual awakening. So some of the sources that I've read or seen online did mention that this could be the beginning of the awakening for a 5D consciousness. And I've also heard that it's just going to be a general spiritual awakening for those who are considered still asleep. So I'm just shuffling these cards, and I'm asking, what is going to happen on December 21st, 2020? So for this, I'm just going to pull 3 cards. The reason I like Lenormand is because Lenormand is straight to the point. It doesn't pull any punches. And it doesn't sugarcoat, actually. It has the worst bedside manner. So if you ever need a compassionate reading, Lenormand may not be the right deck of cards for you. But however, if you need to get to the bottom of a situation quickly, Lenormand is definitely going to do it. Okay. So the cards that I pulled are Choices, Garden, which would be an auspicious event, and Stork, so newness. As I'm reading these cards, we do see that something new is on the horizon, and it's going to be a result of our choices. But I don't know about you. I don't really like that answer because I feel like that's really vague. What do you guys think? This isn't helpful, right? Of course, something new is going to happen. Something new is always happening. So let's go ahead and shuffle again. And we are going to ask the cards again. What's happening December 21st, 2020? Since it was so vague that first time, I'm going to go ahead and pull 9 cards. What do you guys think? So let's say hi to everyone who's saying hi to me. We've got Sheila, Tina, Michael Brown, Tracy, Cynthia, Brenda. We've got 2 Brendas. We've got Brenda Bound, and Brenda Whaley and Carmen. So lots of you joining me live. It's awesome to have you guys here. Okay, so whoops, that flipped over. Ooh, oh man, these cards are just like flipping over on their own. Sorry, you guys can't see it. I was trying to figure out how to get the camera angle set so that you guys could see what I was pulling. Oh, this is a lot better. All right, we've already got more interesting information flying out of these cards. Okay, so apparently I needed to pull more than just 3 to get the whole picture. All right. So I don't usually pull Lenormand cards like this, but that's how I feel like I'm being led to pull them today. Wow. Okay. This is a very interesting reading. All right, so let's start with the top 3 cards. The first 3 cards would represent the thought process that everyone is in regarding December 21st. And so when I talk about the thought process people are in, I'm talking about those who are aware that there's supposed to be something happening, like this is a special date. It's not necessarily referring to those who are in the dark about December 21st. So those who have no interest. So we have the house, and this is the first card. As soon as I pulled this card, it flipped out on its own. I heard get your house in order. So when I hear get your house in order, this isn't just about, cleaning your house, making sure it's all nice and pretty and sparkling. I feel like this is saying get prepared, right? Prepare for those of us who are maybe expecting some winter storms. We might want to stock up on some things. So get your house in order is what I heard when I pulled this. And this very much has to do with our home life. So that popped up. Next, we have the book, which is about knowledge, gaining new information. And then we have the fish, which is very lucky. So what I believe from this is I believe that it's saying a lot of people are expecting something good to come about on that day. Like it's supposed to be a very lucky date. But as I'm also tuning into this, because remember, this is supposed to be the thought process. The other information that I'm getting from this, because it is the fish, is remember, fish are very lucky, right? Fish is about wealth and good things coming to you. So when we have the house, the book, and the fish, it's saying that a lot of people are expecting abundance. Like they're expecting this 5G consciousness to happen. Like that's where their mindset is. So I feel that for many people, this is going to be the beginning of a new awakening. But I believe that's going to be the case because it's like the collective consciousness is already I want to say priming the rest of the energy for that. So we are going to see more people wake up, but I'm getting the sense that it's not necessarily because of December 21st. It's because of what people anticipate for December 21st. Does that make sense? That's what I'm getting from these cards. Okay. So that's the first set. Let's go ahead and take a look at the second set. So next we have the moon, and the moon talks about cycles, and it can also be about psychic awareness. Next, we have the lilies. I see the lilies. For me, lilies would represent friendship. Also, just the feeling of something good, like a new scent in the air. You know how it makes how a pleasant scent in a home or in an area just makes everything smell good. So that's what I'm getting from that. And then we also have the child. So when I'm looking at the child, I think of childlike faith. So this set of cards is the middle. This represents the actual timeline. And so what's interesting to me about the moon popping up for this is that December 21st is also the winter solstice. Where it is actually going to be more dark than light, right? So we're going to have a long night because, the day is really short. So I feel like this is pretty literal here. Next, we have the lilies. And so with that, I feel like so many people on December 21st are going to feel, I want to say like their burdens kind of lift, maybe not completely, but there's just the sensation of, like this relief where you can just finally breathe a sigh of relief. So I feel like that's going to happen for a lot of people. And then with the child, I feel like this is talking about childlike faith, being able to open up to new ideas or at least contemplate things or new ideas that you wouldn't have entertained before. So I feel like this is talking more about there is going to be a spiritual awakening, but I also feel like it also seems to be pulling at the fact that many of us, because of what we've been through over the last year with the whole COVID stuff that's been happening, I feel like it's saying many of us kind of feel like lost children. Like we're almost looking up to adults to help us, but there's no adults to look up to because we are the adults. And so I feel like there's there's this childlike quality where I don't think people are necessarily wanting to be helped or not, told what to do. Like for the last year, it feels like everyone's been telling us what to do. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Wash your hands, don't use sanitizer, don't use sanitizer. We're all kind of being treated like children. We've all been told to go to our rooms and think about what we've done. So gosh, there's just so much information coming out of this card. But I feel like that's going to be the beginning also of maybe us starting to, I know this sounds weird, like go outside more, even though I know it's going to be snowing for a lot of places. But there's this whole thing of us having this new curious wonder about the world and seeing things new for the first time. So I think there is an awakening coming. I just don't think it's going to be what a lot of people are anticipating. But still, like that, being able to hold on to childlike wonder and curiosity is a very precious thing, because when we are curious and non-judgmental about the world around us, that's when we can really appreciate things, right? That's when we see things in a different light. And in that way, everything can be new. Like the tree that may be standing outside in our front yard that we pass by every single day. If we take the time to look at it and tune into it and watch it with new eyes, we're going to notice things we haven't noticed before. And I think that's what a lot of us are going to do with this new world that we've been creating. So the last set of cards that I have for you are the clover. So that's a great card to start with, right? Because clover is good luck. It can also indicate growth, small spurts of growth, but I see this as being really good luck. We have the birds, which is talk, chatter, gossip. I feel like this represents us being able to talk good luck and talk good things into being. So already we're getting a hint that December 21st is going to be a day that has a lot of energy behind it. So be very mindful of what you're speaking into being for that day, and speak words that are positive. And then we also have the rider. So the rider is about news. It's about something new coming into your life. It's a messenger. So we're going to get these messages about good luck, about good things happening. So we do see that the state of the world begins to shift in our favor. We do see consciousness shifting in a way that's going to make us feel better and make us happier. Because when we look at these cards, these are all really great cards, right? We've got the house, we've got book, fish, moon, lilies, child, clover, birds, rider. Only thing missing from this deck is the sun, or from these cards is the sun, because everything is very happy. It's very hopeful. So if December 21st, 2020 comes around for you and you end up not having the best day, in the back of your mind, you might be tempted to say, man, Nicole's reading was so wrong. Maybe. That happens sometimes. But what I feel like this is really saying is this is the beginning of something new, something momentous happening. And so sometimes we can have bad days. Sometimes the start of something beautiful has a really, forgive my language, shitty beginning, right? Kind of like if you are in a wonderful relationship now, maybe the catalyst for that wonderful relationship was that you had to get out of a really bad relationship first, right? So when you left that bad relationship, that was a good move for you. But maybe things were scary. Maybe you didn't know where you were going to live. Maybe you didn't have a job. Maybe you didn't like your job. Maybe you started thinking to yourself, I'm never going to find someone for me, right? So the result of that bad relationship was actually a good one, because you may have manifested by contrast, and people do this all the time. And I feel like a lot of us are actually doing that now. And when I talk about manifesting by contrast, and you've probably heard this before, I mean that you use the crap that's going on in your daily life right now to think about what it is that you do want. So for many people who were furloughed and they lost their jobs, obviously that was very devastating. That's a very difficult loss to go through. And there is an amount of grieving that has to take place to process all of those emotions and that experience. The upside to this is that it gets you to think about the type of job you do want now, right? How are you going to pave your future when it comes to your career? And so when we are in these jobs that we don't like and we're thinking to ourselves, gosh, I wish I didn't have to work here anymore. Or I wish I got better salary, or I wish I had a nicer boss, or I wish. That's manifesting by contrast, and that's really good. And that's what many of us have been doing for a full year because we've been stuck in our homes or we've had to homeschool our kids or whatever the case is. So we're putting more positive intentions out into the universe almost by default. And that's amazing. Do you know why? Because usually people are putting poor intentions out into the world by default. This has been different. So I think that December 21st, there's going to be a lot of good news, a lot of talk coming about wonderful things happening because we as a human race and as a spiritual collective have decided that it is time for something good to start rolling around. And I think we're all anticipating that 2021 will be a better year than 2020. And for those of you who say it can't get worse, I would ask you not to put that challenge out into the universe because believe it or not, things could be a lot worse. So let's just hold the intention that good things are going to happen on that date, and this December 21st, whatever happens on that actual date, let's hold the intention that everything after that is going to be monumental in the best of ways, okay? So that, according to the Lenormand cards, is what we have going on there. I do want to pull from Work Your Light Oracle cards, and we're going to be more specific with these cards. We're going to ask what spiritual consequences or gifts or results, awakening, if you will, is going to happen on December 21st. So remember, this is a general reading. This is about the collective, and we are going to, right, Elizabeth? Elizabeth is like, oh, dear God, don't put that out there, Elizabeth. I completely agree. Don't put that out there. So Donna D'Amico says, good things for each one of us. Yeah, those are wonderful intentions. We want good things for each and every one of us. I like it. All right. So shuffling the light your work. Oh my gosh. Work your light oracle cards. Light your work. Well, I mean, lighting your work is good, right? Light your work up. Make it shine. All right. So anyways, yeah. Nice save, Nicole. Work your light oracle cards. We're asking about the spiritual awakening. Spiritual things are happening. December 21st. Okay. So here we go, guys. All right. Oh my gosh. Okay. So you know how I've been using that word awakening? Yeah. Look what just came up. Can you see that? I swear I shuffled these. I wasn't looking at them. I didn't plan it. Okay. That was in the very middle of 3 cards. So very interesting. All right. So that said, the spiritual things happening on December 21st, we have Leap, and it says, you go first, the universe will catch you. Yeah. So when you think about your spiritual life, and we're going to get a little deeper here, when you think about your spiritual abilities and your psychic senses and your psychic gifts, I know for a fact that many of you are hiding your psychic gifts in the dark. You're afraid to show them off. You're afraid to be wrong. You're afraid to be rejected. This universe, actually, I meant to say this card. This universe, through this card, is telling you, take a leap of faith. Trust those psychic senses. Don't be afraid of them. They are your God-given talent. And it's also saying the universe will catch you. Do you know what that means? It means 2 things. The universe will support you, but there's also an interesting promise in there, which is you're going to fall. Let's just be honest. When we try something new, we fall and it hurts. But what happens? We get back up. So this is saying, yeah, you're going to make some mistakes. You're going to fall. It's going to happen. The universe will catch you. So if the universe is going to catch you, what does that mean? It means that you're not going to land on some hard pavement that's going to hurt you or kill you. You're going to be fine. So you're going to fall. It's going to be scary. It's going to be uncomfortable. The universe is there to catch you. You're not going to get that hurt from it. You're not going to get that traumatized from it because the universe has your back, right? Okay, so then the next card we have, which you already know, is the Awakening. And here we have energetic upgrades. And this says a new way of being, integration. I think it's safe to say that maybe the astrologers are getting it right. I don't know, maybe. But here's what I want you to remember. This awakening, this energetic upgrade, the new way of being in integration, so much of this is in regards to those who are already awakened, right? We're already interested in spiritual things. We're already interested in divination, astrology, psychic abilities, connecting with the universe, connecting with heaven, connecting with our loved ones. We already have an interest in this thing, in those things. This is talking about up leveling that, upgrading. So that's really exciting. And yes, this is also the beginning of the awakening for those who are still asleep, but they're ready to kick it up a notch, right? They're ready to move on to the next level. So that's pretty cool. So think about where you might want to get those energetic upgrades and start putting that out into the universe now, so that when December 21st comes around and the new year comes around, the universe knows exactly what it is you would like to do and what it can do for you. Remember, when you're working with the universe, it's working with you, right? We're doing this dance together, and it's a beautiful thing. All right, last card. Are you ready? Pillar of light. And this says, your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. So I think it's safe to say that December 21st, a lot of people are going to get a spiritual upgrade. So a lot of good things are going to happen. So, let's see. So if you guys have any questions about this specific date, let me know. And these are general questions. You can ask general questions that all of us can benefit from. So Sophie's talking about her, her superpower. And she says hers is sensing people's spirits and feeling their electrical energies, which is also known as the aura, right? The aura is the electrical energy that everyone puts out. So Alana's asking how to get a reading with me. You can go to my website at guidingechoes.com and click on work with me, and that'll take you to my scheduler. I do have some appointments available in January. And obviously February, because that's a ways out. So so that's how you can get a reading with me. Adventures of Sharon 2 is saying December 21st is next week, y'all. Yes, it is. It is Monday, right? Yeah, Monday of next week. So Sheila is asking, why is the date so important? So the date is important because Jupiter, so from what I understand from different astrologers, the date is important because that is when Jupiter and Saturn are aligned, and this doesn't happen very often. So they're going to be in complete alignment with each other. And I can't remember how long that lasts for. Other people are also indicating that they believe this is the beginning of the Age of Aquarius. I'm not sure what I personally think about that, because a lot of people think that we've been in the Age of Aquarius for quite some time now. So I hope that answers your question. And then someone else was asking, what does it mean to upgrade? It was just on my screen and I can't find it. But anyways, someone was asking, what does it mean to upgrade? So upgrade simply means that you get better at something. Something happens maybe that makes your ability shine brighter. So think of it as learning to play the violin, right? You're playing the violin, and as a beginner, you're able, you have to build those calluses on your fingers, and you're going to make a lot of mistakes at the beginning when you're learning to play the violin. And then as you continue to practice, you get better, you get better, you get better. But one of the things that can happen is as you continue to practice, as you continue to learn, as you continue to play with new chords, there is something that starts to develop inside of you where you start to play as if you're natural, and you start to be able to play in a way that you haven't been taught, that you didn't get out of a book. So you might start creating your own songs, your own music. You hear them in your head first, right? And then you start learning how to play it on the violin, but nobody taught you that. That was a stream of consciousness that came into your mind that you're now projecting out into the universe. And so that could be an example of upgrading, or being upgraded, is when you have so much information and knowledge already, and you're putting something into practice, that something just, it clicks, and you get this well, some people would call it a download, right? You would get this idea in your mind where everything just kind of clicks and it makes sense. So you get this new idea or this new awareness that you've never had before. No one's ever taught this to you. It just comes to you. And you start to maybe live your life by that new idea or that new stream of consciousness that you just got. So that could be an upgrade. And when that happens, when your energy upgrades and lifts up, a lot of things start to change around you, sometimes rapidly. And it can end up being really uncomfortable, because you'll get to a point where you're where maybe your friends don't really resonate with you anymore, so they start to walk away, and you'll get the sensation that you need to move or you need to go somewhere, and you don't know why you're feeling that way. And so when you start to upgrade and when you start to really dive into the spiritual path, there does end up being a lot of ending to different things, because for something new to arrive, something needs to die, right? Something needs to end. And so that's more or less what happens with the upgrades. So you end up really walking into a new energy, a new way of being, new ideas, and you basically open yourself up, if you choose to open yourself up to a new life, and it's amazing and awesome. Okay, so Brenda Bound is saying maybe manifestations are going to be more powerful on the 21st in 2021. Yeah, I think so, Brenda. I think the 21st kind of marks the end of all the energy that's been fueling 2020. And that's the energy that we'll start to see manifesting as a whole, as a collective, for 2021. So does that make sense? It's kind of like if you're writing a book and then you get to that last chapter. I feel like the last chapter is December 21st. And then whatever we've all been manifesting through this last year is what ends up happening for next year. So I could be wrong, but that's just my thoughts on that. Okay, so let's see. Patricia says, I need to stop being scared of my gifts. My past keeps me in fear, ready for that upgrade. So that's another course that I'm working on, is giving people the tools that they need to no longer be afraid of their gifts. I'm curious, how many of you are afraid of your gifts because of a negative experience you had with them? When I talk about a negative experience that you have, that means more or less that maybe you saw something that you didn't want to see. Maybe you lost a friend. Maybe your parents or your loved ones or whoever told you were crazy. I'm just curious to know how many of you have had a bad experience, uncomfortable experience, or outcome as a result of being vocal about your gifts or an experience. I'm just really curious to know. Okay, so quite a few of you. Yeah, quite a few of you. That's what I thought. So the new course that I'm wanting to create won't be out for quite some time, because there's a lot of moving parts to it, but it's going to address that. It's going to go through different scenarios and teach you how to overcome that, how to get past those experiences, how to grow from those experiences, and how to trust yourself more and trust your gifts. Because I truly believe, like, once you're able to fully embrace and enhance your own spiritual gifts and your psychic awareness and your psychic powers, right? That's a lot of fun. That's when you're living your full, authentic self. That's when you can make some true magic happen. Otherwise, you're living a half life because you're not being true to who you are, right? You're having to keep part of yourself hidden. And if you're afraid of part of yourself, wow, that's like that's really hard. It's really hard to be afraid of yourself and afraid of your own gifts. So I want to teach you how to have confidence in that and how to use those abilities to your own liking, to your own benefit. So Shelly asks, is the universe going to send us signs on the 21st? I think many of you are already getting a lot of cool signs. I think that so many of you are already getting synchronicities. I think that the synchronicities are probably going to go berserk on the 21st. So I think that you're going to see a lot of that. And one of the things I'm seeing is that you'll be thinking about something and then you'll be watching TV and maybe that thing you've been thinking about, like it's going to show up on the news. So I'm seeing things like that happening. Actual signs go, there's going to be the quote unquote Christmas star, probably a few anomalies in the sky. So there's going to be a few signs I think that's going to be missed by most. But I think the biggest thing you can expect would be synchronicities. I'm also hearing that a lot of people are going to get more signs from their loved ones on the other side. There's something about that day that feels, I want to say quiet, like somehow the energy is quiet. And so with things being quiet, we're able to hear things better and see things better. And so for some reason, it feels like it's just going to be easier for your loved ones to come through, or at least it's going to be easier for you to notice them on that date. So, yeah, so that's what my psychic senses tell me for that date. So let's see. Let's go ahead and look for one more question. So if you guys have one more question about December 21st, go ahead and put it in the chat, put it in the comment. And Willen's asking, is it going to be a good day to create? I think it's going to be a wonderful day to create. I think that we talked about how December 21st, I feel like it's the end of what we've been manifesting for 2020. So it's almost like, okay, we've been putting all these ideas out there. We've been getting creative. We've been manifesting by contrast, which means we've been telling the universe what we do want because we're sick of what we don't want. And it feels like that's when that chapter closes as a collective. That said, when a chapter closes, what happens? A new one opens. So I feel like it's a really good day to start planning what you want to create. And yeah, go ahead and get your hands dirty, get your feet wet and start creating something new, whether that is a new novel, whether it is, taking a new online course because you want to start building your skills for maybe a different passion that you have or a project you want to work on. So yeah, I think it's absolutely a great day to create. I think it's also for those who don't feel like creating, I think it's a good day to rest too, because it is a much shorter day. But shorter days, the long nights, those can be good times for planning and contemplation and creation. So yeah, I think it's absolutely a great day to start planning things. So Ashley, thank you so much for the super chat. I very much appreciate it. Wow. Okay. I'm always surprised when people do a super chat because they're so unexpected. And honestly, I forget that I even have them. I forget that I have them on this channel because I just do. All right, my friends. So I am going to get going. And I hope that you all have a fantastic day. Actually, before I do, Jean just asked a really good question. Will it be a good day to let go of emotional pain? I think so. I think that, the thing to remember too is letting go of emotional pain, regardless of the cause, that's a process. Because an emotional pain is grief, and grief is not an emotion, it's an experience. It's a process. It's something that you work through. And so I think that every day is actually a good day to let go of emotional pain. However, if you wanted to do a ritual around it, I think it's a fantastic time to do that. And so if I were going to do a ritual to release some pain, to release pain. What I would do is I would get a candle, because I do love working with candles and doing some candle magic. I would get a candle, and I would just choose a color that resonates really well for me. And I would probably think of a candle or of a color that represents healing to me or represents abundant blessings to me. So for me, that would probably be either yellow, blue, or green. Those would be that'd be the three colors I'd go with. And then from there, I would get a sheet of paper and I would write down in as much detail as possible the emotional pain that I want to let go of. I would talk about what brought that on. It could be one experience or many. I would really get detailed about how it made me feel. So if it makes me feel empty, I would talk about that. If it made me feel as if I'm going through the motions and I don't know what my outcome is going to be, I would talk about that. I would bleed that all into the page through a pen. And then once I was done, and most likely, you'll be crying because you're really getting in touch with that emotional pain. So you give yourself permission to cry that out and to sob as you're writing, but you don't stop, right? You keep at it. You write it all out. You get it all out. And then what I would do is I would pray blessings over that. I would ask for healing. I might even ask Archangel Raphael to touch that paper and to touch my heart and to heal all those aspects and all those hidden corners that are causing all that pain. And from there, I would probably rip it up and bury it, or I might just throw it away because that's going to end up in a landfill anyway. So it's going to get buried that way. You can burn it in a safe place, like a fireplace. And then from there, I would think about what emotional response I want to live in instead, what emotional state I wanted to live in. And when I talk about that, I mean just like what's long lasting. Joy, peace, like what emotions are you going after? And what type of experiences would help you to have those emotions and to have them in a way that is long lasting? So I would think about that. And as I was thinking about that, I'd be holding that candle and pouring all that attention and intention and visions into it. I might even speak over this candle and tell it what I hope it will bring for me. And then I would mention that as the day is short and the night is long, so will my pain be short and will my joy be long. And I would remember that sometimes the best gifts come to us in the shadows. Sometimes the best gifts come to us when we're not looking for them and we don't know what they look like. So I would use that whole day as an example of how I'm ready to let go of my emotional pain and how I'm ready to bring something else in. And then I would light the candle and let it do its thing for a while. And because I would want a lot of joy and a lot of peace and a lot of good things to come to me, I would go for a long candle to represent that I want this blessing to last for years and I want it to be abundant. So I might use a taper candle or a pillar candle. 7-day candle would be great. And yeah, so that's what I would do if I was going to do a ritual. So if you want to do a ritual, there you go. I just gave you one. So I hope that this was helpful to you guys. If you found this helpful and you know other people who are interested in this whole December 21st, 2020 date, I hope that you'll forward this to them and I hope that they find it helpful too. So remember, if you would like a personalized reading with me, you can visit my website at guidingechoes.com. And what else? So I should have some new videos for you guys ready next week. And if it's not ready, I'll just do another live and then we can chat some more. Sound good? That sounds awesome, right? All right, friends, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have the most blessed day, and I will see you soon, probably on Facebook or YouTube. All right, take care. Bye-bye.